The calm on station horizon was deceptive. For days, systems ran smoothly, and the crew believed they had seen the extent of Lyra's abilities. But beneath the quiet routines, subtle irregularities began to appear. Energy flows fluctuated unpredictably. Data packets went missing. Equipment malfunctioned for no apparent reason. Chief Engineer Dalton was the first to notice. "Rylan, something's wrong," he said, staring at the console. "I've checked the circuits, the programs, everything. But there's a pattern. Someone is interfering." Commander Rylan frowned. "Interfering? You mean sabotage?" Dalton nodded. "It seems deliberate, and it's too precise to be accidental." Ryland's eyes shifted to Lyra, who was nearby inspecting a conduit. "Lyra, have you noticed anything unusual?" Lyra paused and turned her calm, steady gaze toward him. "Yes," she said. "The interference is deliberate, and it is not from a human source. The methods resemble technology far beyond the station's standard capabilities." Dalton's jaw dropped. "You mean an advanced alien faction is involved?" Lyra nodded. "Possibly. The saboteur has access to systems that could compromise the station's safety. We must act quickly." Immediately, the crew mobilized. Engineers moved through corridors, checking panels, monitoring sensors, and tracking anomalies. Lyra worked silently, guiding them with quiet precision. Every suggestion she made was accurate, every action calculated to prevent further damage. Despite their best efforts, the sabotage continued. A secondary communications array went offline, then a hydroponics regulator failed. Crew members began to panic, whispering about the possibility of a hidden enemy aboard the station. Lyra moved through the chaos with calm determination. She crouched before a compromised terminal, her hands adjusting wires and circuits. She activated a small hidden device from her jumpsuit, a tool unlike any human technology. Its surface glowed faintly, and sensors hummed as it scanned the compromised systems. Dalton watched, astonished. "Lyra, what is that?" "It is a diagnostic and containment tool," she explained. "It can isolate foreign interference and neutralize unauthorized access." The device worked quickly. Systems flickered, then stabilized. The saboteur's influence was partially contained, giving the crew time to act. Ryland stepped forward. "Lyra, you're using tools far beyond anything we have. We need to know. How much can we trust you?" Lyra met his gaze steadily. "Trust is earned through actions, not appearances. I am committed to protecting this station and its crew." Dalton muttered under his breath. "Actions? She's saving us. Again." Lyra continued her work. She traced the sabotage to its source, following invisible threads of energy through the station. The trail led her to a section of the station that had been considered secure, until now. "There," she said, pointing. "The interference originates from the maintenance sector. Someone is deliberately manipulating system protocols." Rylan and Dalton exchanged glances. The thought that the saboteur was already inside the station filled them with unease. Lyra approached the sector silently, her movements precise. As she entered the area, she detected faint energy traces, ones humans could not perceive. She crouched, examining a terminal, and activated a holographic interface. Lines of code and energy flows appeared before her eyes, showing the sabotage's intricate design. "This is highly advanced," Dalton whispered. "No human could have done this." Lyra's hands moved quickly, weaving her device through the system. "It is not meant to destroy. It is meant to observe and manipulate. The saboteur seeks information and control." Suddenly, the system reacted violently. Alarms blared, and sparks flew from nearby panels. The saboteur had anticipated interference. Lyra remained calm. She adjusted her device, redirecting energy, stabilizing circuits, and isolating the malicious code. The system responded, and the interference was contained once more. Dalton shook his head. "I don't understand. How are you doing this?" Lyra smiled faintly, almost imperceptibly. experience, observation, and tools that extend capability beyond normal limits. The saboteur did not give up. The lights flickered, systems attempted to shut down, and the threat spread to secondary arrays. It became clear that this was more than a single human saboteur. It was a faction with advanced technology. Lyra turned to the crew. "We must work together. I can guide you, but your cooperation is essential. Trust your instincts and my directions." The crew nodded, tension heavy but determination clear. Lyra instructed engineers on precise adjustments, balancing energy flows, realigning circuits, and rerouting power. Slowly, system stability returned and the saboteur's influence was reduced. Rylan observed with growing respect. Lyra was no longer just an engineer. She was a leader. Her calm and methodical approach inspired the humans to act confidently, even under pressure. Finally, Lyra paused. She activated her hidden device again, sending a controlled feedback pulse through the compromised systems. Sparks flew briefly, then the systems went silent. The sabotage was neutralized. Dalton exhaled. She did it, completely. Rylan stepped closer to Lyra. "Lyra, I need you to tell me, how much of your technology and knowledge are you hiding? The crew needs to understand who is protecting them." Lyra looked at him steadily. "Much is hidden because premature revelation can create fear or mistrust, but I have revealed what is necessary to secure the station. The rest will be revealed when the time is right." Dalton muttered. "Time is now." Lyra shook her head slightly. "Not yet. But you may trust me implicitly. I will not endanger this station." Over the next few hours, Lyra guided the crew as they restored all systems. Energy grids hummed steadily, communication arrays transmitted clearly, and the station's environment stabilized. Crew members looked to her with newfound respect and trust. Late that night, Rylan found Lyra on the observation deck. The stars stretched endlessly before them, and the station's hum was steady once again. "You saved us all again," Rylan said quietly. "More than just systems. You saved our confidence, our trust, our lives." Lyra's eyes reflected the starlight. "I am here to protect. That is my purpose." Rylan hesitated. "Lyra, we've all underestimated you. You're calm, you're quiet. It fooled us. But now we see the truth. You are extraordinary." Lyra tilted her head slightly, a gentle smile forming. "Extraordinary is subjective. I simply act with precision and purpose." Rylan nodded slowly, understanding. The quiet alien engineer had not only hidden her abilities, she had inspired trust, cooperation, and resilience among humans. As Lyra returned to her quarters, she thought about the saboteur. This incident had been a warning. The galaxy was full of challenges and hidden enemies, but she was prepared, and the humans were learning to trust her. Together, they could face anything. Beneath her jumpsuit, the hidden tools rested, quiet and waiting. The crew had seen some of her capabilities, but not all. Some secrets remained, meant for moments when the station faced threats beyond imagination. The calm of the night belied the challenges ahead. The humans of Station Horizon now trusted Lyra, implicitly, unaware of the full extent of her knowledge and technology. And Lyra knew that soon those secrets would be needed. Secrets that could change the station and perhaps humanity forever. In the quiet darkness, Lyra gazed out at the stars. A faint smile touched her lips. The humans trusted her. And when the right moment came, they would see the full truth of the alien engineer who had arrived in a simple jumpsuit, unassuming and quiet, but more powerful than anyone had ever imagined. The morning on Station Horizon began with a quiet tension. Though systems were stable after the recent sabotage, sensors picked up strange energy readings in the outer perimeter. Commander Rylan quickly called a meeting with Chief Engineer Dalton and Lyra. "These readings are unusual," Rylan said, frowning at the monitor. "We don't know if it's a threat or something natural." Lyra stepped closer, her calm presence commanding attention. She studied the data carefully. "The patterns are deliberate," she said softly. "They are similar to the signals from the previous alien encounter, Whoever is doing this is testing the station, probing for weaknesses. Dalton muttered. We thought we handled the worst. Now this? Lyra's expression remained steady. Challenges are constant. Preparation and unity are key. Ryland turned to her. Lyra, we need your full guidance. Can we trust you to lead the response? Lyra nodded. Trust has been established. I will coordinate the defense. The crew mobilized quickly. Humans and Lyra worked together, reinforcing shields, recalibrating energy grids, and analyzing sensor data. Every suggestion Lyra made was precise, every adjustment purposeful. Her quiet confidence inspired the humans to act decisively. As they worked, the alien presence became visible, a fleet of small advanced ships emerging from the darkness. They moved with speed and coordination, aiming to bypass the station's defenses. Alarm sirens blared and crew members moved quickly to their stations. Lyra assessed the situation. The fleet is testing our response patterns. Their technology is advanced but predictable. If we act with precision, we can neutralize them without a full confrontation. Ryland glanced at her. Precision? You mean like last time? Lyra's calm gaze met his. Exactly. Using her hidden tools, Lyra interfaced with the station's systems. Her hands moved quickly, redirecting energy flows and establishing interference patterns. Shields pulsed, energy arcs shimmered across the hull, and the alien ship's attacks began to falter. Dalton whispered, I don't understand. How? The hum of station horizon was steady and constant, a reassuring sound to the humans who lived aboard. But that calm would not last. Sensors in the outer observation deck began to blink irregularly, capturing signals that did not belong to any known human or civilian ship. Commander Ryland was the first to notice. He stood over the console, frowning at the readings. Dalton, come here. Look at this. Dalton approached, rubbing his beard. That's strange. The energy signature isn't like anything we've cataloged. Ryland's jaw tightened. Could it be a rogue ship? Dalton shook his head. It's too advanced for a standard raider, and too quiet. Whatever it is, it's hiding its approach. Lyra, who had been quietly monitoring nearby subsystems, stepped forward. Commander, the ship's energy signature is deliberate. They are scanning for weaknesses. They may be preparing an attack. Ryland looked at her, impressed. How can you tell? Lyra's eyes were calm, almost unreadable. Their energy pulses are synchronized to probe our shields. They are calculating the optimal point of entry. If undetected, their systems could bypass our defenses. The humans exchanged worried glances. Dalton muttered, We can't let them get that close. Not with the colony link active. Ryland nodded. Lyra, can you help us? Lyra gave a small, polite nod.
I will attempt to neutralize the threat without full engagement.
Allow me access to the outer grid. Dalton hesitated. Outer grid? That's risky. If you fail, Commander, Lyra interrupted softly. Risk is inherent in any defense, but precision can reduce danger. Trust me. Ryland looked at her steadily. He did not fully understand how she could know so much, but he had learned to trust her abilities. Do it. Lyra moved to the control interface. Her fingers flew over the holographic controls, adjusting frequencies, rerouting energy, and establishing feedback loops. The other engineers watched in amazement. She worked silently, with movement so precise it seemed as if she were conducting a symphony rather than managing a complex defense system. On the observation deck, the alien ship slowly emerged from the void. Its hull was dark and sleek, unlike anything the humans had encountered. Lights along its surface pulsed in a pattern that sent subtle vibrations through the station's sensors. Dalton whispered, They're here. And they're huge. Lyra's gaze remained calm, prepared to observe. With a quiet hum, the outer grid activated. Energy waves shimmered across the station's hull. The alien ship's probes, designed to find weak points, began to encounter interference. Signals bounced unpredictably, causing confusion in the enemy systems. Dalton's eyes widened. She's controlling the energy itself. Ryland nodded slowly, not controlling, guiding. That's incredible. The alien ship adjusted, realizing the humans were defending themselves. It fired a pulse, small but powerful, at the station's outer hull. Alarms blared. Sparks flew from a nearby conduit and the crew scrambled to stabilize affected systems. Lyra did not move from her station. Instead, she redirected energy in a subtle arc, intercepting the pulse before it could breach the hull. The force dissipated harmlessly into space, leaving the humans awestruck. Dalton whispered, "I've never seen anything like this." "How is she doing it?" Ryland shook his head, unwilling to admit the truth. He had no idea. Lyra's calm composure and mysterious skills were beyond any human training or experience. Minutes stretched like hours as the alien ship continued to probe and test the station's defenses. Lyra remained focused, adjusting, countering, and predicting each move with uncanny precision. Finally, she paused. "Commander, the threat can be neutralized if a direct feedback pulse is sent into their systems. It will disable their propulsion temporarily, giving us a chance to negotiate or escape." Ryland nodded. "Do it." Lyra's hands moved quickly. She accessed a hidden compartment in her jumpsuit and pulled out a small device. Its surface shimmered, glowing faintly. Dalton and the others gasped. "No human engineering device looked like this. What is that?" Dalton whispered. Lyra ignored him, placing the device into the interface. It connected seamlessly, as if designed specifically for this moment. She initiated the pulse. The device hummed, sending a precise, controlled wave toward the alien ship. The ship shuddered, lights flickering across its hull. Its engines powered down briefly, leaving it drifting. Communication channels opened. The humans had a chance to respond thanks to Lyra's intervention. Ryland stepped forward. "Lyra, that device, where did it come from?" She smiled faintly, almost imperceptibly. "It is part of my toolkit. It is designed to interact with advanced energy systems." Dalton's eyes widened. "Toolkit, you mean?" "All this time," Lyra's gaze remained calm, "I do not reveal everything at once. Only when necessary." Ryland realized the truth. The alien engineer they had assumed to be simple was anything but. Her quiet, unassuming nature was a mask, and beneath it lay technology and knowledge far beyond the humans' comprehension. The alien ship drifted slowly away, its systems temporarily disabled. The immediate threat had passed, but everyone aboard the station knew this was only the beginning. Dalton approached Lyra cautiously. You saved us all. I don't even know how to thank you." Lyra's expression was gentle. "Gratitude is not required. The station's safety is priority." Ryland placed a hand on her shoulder. "Lyra, we underestimated you. We were wrong. And I think we should trust you completely from now on." Lyra nodded. "Trust is earned, Commander. But I will not deceive those who seek cooperation." That night, the crew gathered to discuss the incident. They spoke quietly, still in awe of what had happened. Words like unbelievable and extraordinary filled the conversation. Lyra remained in the background listening, unobtrusive yet central to every discussion. In her quarters, Lyra examined the device she had used. It was small, but powerful, capable of interacting with energy patterns that humans could barely detect. She had not revealed its full capability. Doing so would have been dangerous. Some things must remain hidden until the proper moment. As she set the device back into her hidden compartment, Lyra thought about the humans. They were strong, curious, and adaptable, yet they often assumed appearances reflected ability. Her quiet, simple demeanor had made them underestimate her, but that would change soon. Outside, the alien ship drifted silently in space, its systems offline but not destroyed. Somewhere out there, another challenge waited, and when it came, the humans would need Lyra more than ever. For now, though, the station was safe. The humans were beginning to realize that their new engineer was far more than she seemed. And Lyra, the quiet alien who had arrived in a plain jumpsuit, had proven that appearances could be deceiving. The stars outside Station Horizon twinkled, as if acknowledging a new era of cooperation and challenge. Lyra gazed at them, calm and confident, already preparing for whatever would come next. Her mind raced with calculations, predictions, and possibilities, all while the humans slept peacefully, unaware of just how extraordinary their engineer truly was. In the silence of the night, one truth was clear. The simple-looking alien engineer had revealed a fraction of her power, but her true abilities, and the secrets hidden beneath her jumpsuit, were still waiting for the right moment to astonish them all. The day on Station Horizon began quietly, a rare calm after the recent encounter with the alien ship. Humans moved through the corridors, checking systems and completing routine maintenance, but the memory of the previous night's events lingered in everyone's minds. Lyra, as always, walked calmly among them, her steps silent yet purposeful. Commander Rylan watched her from the observation deck. He could see the subtle way she moved, how she inspected panels, adjusted conduits, and analyzed every display. To the humans, she looked like a simple, unassuming engineer. But Rylan knew better. Her actions had already saved the station. Her abilities were extraordinary. In the engineering bay, Chief Engineer Dalton approached her quietly. "Lyra," he said, "the comm system is running perfectly, but you fixed it so easily last night. Can you show us how you did it?" Lyra tilted her head slightly, considering. The method requires understanding patterns beyond the visible. It is not something that can be taught quickly. Dalton's brow furrowed. "So, you're saying it's advanced knowledge you have?" "Yes," Lyra replied simply. "Observation and logic reveal solutions that standard procedures cannot." Dalton nodded slowly. He had seen the evidence. There was no denying it. Yet something about Lyra made him uneasy. She was talented, yes, but her calm, unassuming exterior hid more than anyone could imagine. Later, during a station-wide inspection, Rylan noticed Lyra helping a young technician adjust a small energy regulator. The technician had been nervous, fumbling with the controls. Lyra crouched beside him, her hands guiding his movements. She spoke softly, explaining without condescension, encouraging without pressure. The technician's eyes widened as the system finally responded correctly. I did it. It works," he exclaimed. Lyra smiled faintly, the corners of her lips barely turning up. "You understood the sequence. That is the most important part," she said. Rylan watched, intrigued. Lyra was more than a brilliant engineer. She had a way of connecting with humans, of teaching and guiding, without demanding recognition. Slowly, trust began to grow, not just in her abilities but in her as a person. That evening, the crew gathered for a casual meal in the station's communal area. Humans talked up the day, sharing stories and small. The space station floated quietly above the cerulean planet of Alora 7. Its metal hull reflected the light of the nearby sun, shimmering like a giant crystal in the dark void of space. Crew members hurried along narrow corridors, their footsteps echoing as they prepared for the arrival of the new engineer. At the docking bay, the massive doors opened with a hiss. A small shuttle drifted inside, guided by gentle magnetic pulses. The hatch opened and a figure stepped out. She was unlike any alien the station had seen before. Her skin had a soft lavender tone and her eyes glimmered faintly like polished opal. She wore a plain gray jumpsuit with no badges or symbols to indicate rank. Her movements were calm and deliberate, almost shy. "Welcome to Station Horizon," said Commander Rylan, stepping forward. He extended his hand. "I am Commander Rylan, and you are?" The alien engineer bowed slightly. "I am Lyra." "Engineer assignment confirmed," she said in perfect galactic standard. Her voice was soft but clear. Rylan raised an eyebrow. She seemed ordinary, perhaps even too simple. He expected aliens to be flamboyant, or at least more visually intimidating. Lyra, by contrast, looked as if she could vanish into a crowd of maintenance robots. "Right. Well, Lyra, you will report to Chief Engineer Dalton." "Follow me," Rylan said, turning to walk down the corridor. Lyra followed silently, her steps precise and light. As they passed the crew, whispers floated behind her. "She looks so plain," muttered a technician. "Do you think she even knows anything beyond basic repairs?" Another added, smirking. Lyra heard nothing. Her gaze was calm, her mind already scanning the structure of the station, noting small flaws that no human engineer would have noticed on first glance. In the engineering bay, Chief Engineer Dalton waited. He was a burly human with a thick beard and calloused hands, the type who had fixed more broken systems than most humans had seen. He looked Lyra up and down, then laughed softly. "You're the new engineer. You don't look like much," Dalton said, leaning on a console. Lyra inclined her head politely. "Appearance does not indicate capability," she said simply. Dalton blinked. Most humans would have been flustered by such a statement. He shrugged. "Fair enough. Let's see what you can do." The station's energy grid had a minor fluctuation, a routine check. Dalton guided Lyra to the central console. "Try recalibrating the auxiliary circuits. It's simple enough for anyone with basic training." Lyra's hands moved over the controls with ease. Her fingers danced across the interface, adjusting flow rates and recalibrating sensors. Within moments, the auxiliary grid stabilized, smoother than it had ever been. Dalton stared. That's impressive, he said finally. Lyra simply nodded. System efficiency optimized. Other engineers began to gather, curiosity piqued. They watched her quietly, expecting some mistake, some flaw that would reveal her lack of experience. But there was none. After finishing the task, Lyra walked to a corner of the bay. She crouched beside a seemingly broken maintenance drone and began adjusting its circuits. The humans noticed her small, precise movements but did not intervene. Something about her demeanor made them hesitate. "Why bother with that old thing?" asked one technician. Lyra paused, looking up. "All machines have value. Neglect causes failure," she said simply. Then she returned to her work. Hours passed. Lyra worked quietly, often ignoring the casual chatter and laughter around her. Humans moved faster, spoke louder, and sometimes argued. Lyra remained calm, focused, and precise. Late in the evening, Commander Rylan walked into the engineering bay for a surprise inspection. He noticed the dim lights reflecting on Lyra's work area. Sparks danced faintly from a device she had pulled from storage. He frowned. "Lyra, what is that?" he asked. She looked up without surprise. "This device appears damaged. I am restoring it to operational condition," she explained. Her hands moved delicately over tiny components, twisting, reconnecting, and calibrating with an uncanny skill. Rylan watched, fascinated. The device glowed faintly under her touch, humming with energy as though it recognized her command. It had been written off as non-functional months ago, yet Lyra had already brought it back to life in mere minutes. "How?" Rylan began, but Lyra shook her head. "Knowledge is not always spoken. Observation and understanding are sufficient," she said. The commander remained silent, sensing there was more than she revealed. He glanced around. The other engineers were staring, whispering. One said, "Maybe she isn't as simple as she looks." That night, Lyra walked the quiet corridors of the station alone. She paused before a large viewport, looking at the planet below. Its oceans shimmered like liquid crystal, and the cities glowed faintly in the early evening. She touched the glass lightly, thinking of her journey to this station. Lyra had been chosen for this assignment not for her appearance, but for her abilities. Abilities humans could not yet understand. She had a secret hidden beneath her jumpsuit, tools and knowledge from a civilization far more advanced than the human colonies she now lived among. One day, this secret would change the station and perhaps even humanity's place in the galaxy. For now, though, she was content to observe, to work quietly, and to let humans underestimate her. Their assumptions would make her eventual revelations all the more shocking. In her quarters, Lyra unpacked a small toolkit hidden in her storage compartment. The tools were unlike anything human engineers had seen. Some glowed faintly with energy, while others seemed almost alive, shifting shape as she handled them. She smiled faintly, a gesture almost imperceptible. "They think I am simple," she whispered to herself. "Soon they will learn the truth." Morning came quickly, bringing the usual chaos of station life. Humans hurried through the corridors. Alarms and messages pinged, and the hum of machinery filled every corner. Lyra moved among them quietly, unnoticed, as if she were part of the station itself. Yet wherever she went, small improvements followed. A misaligned panel, a flickering light, a sluggish system. Lyra fixed each with precision. To the human eye, she appeared modest, even insignificant. But in truth, her mind was always several steps ahead, analyzing, predicting, and planning. By the end of the first day, whispers had grown. Some crew members exchanged uneasy glances. "Did you see her fix the communication array?" One whispered. "Yeah, she did it in half the time we've ever managed," another replied. "But she looked so simple," said the first, shaking his head. Rylan, standing on the observation deck, watched her from afar. His respect for Lyra was growing, mixed with caution. She was unlike anyone he had ever met, and that both excited and unnerved him. Lyra returned to her quarters at the end of her shift. She paused before her hidden tools, touching each one with care. Tomorrow she would face new challenges, some human, some possibly alien. And when the time came, her secret would be revealed, changing everything. But for now she allowed herself a moment of quiet. A simple alien engineer, they thought. Unassuming, even plain. They did not yet know that beneath her jumpsuit lay the key to something extraordinary, something that could reshape the future of humanity itself. And so, the station settled into night. Stars glittered outside and the hum of life continued. Lyra slept, but her mind never rested, for even in sleep her thoughts were on circuits, systems, and possibilities beyond the stars. The simple alien engineer had arrived, and the humans around her had no idea what was coming. The morning sun cast a pale glow over station horizon. Its long corridors hummed with energy as crew members prepared for the daily routines. Humans moved quickly, checking systems, running diagnostics, and making sure everything was in perfect order. Lyra moved among them quietly, carrying her toolkit, appearing calm and unremarkable, just like any other engineer. Yet, beneath her calm exterior, her mind was already working, analyzing patterns and predicting potential problems before they could happen. She noticed tiny details that humans missed: a panel slightly loose, a cooling vent that was not aligned correctly, a small surge in the energy grid that could grow into a serious problem if left unchecked. As she worked, Chief Engineer Dalton approached her. His expression was a mix of curiosity and frustration. "Lyra, the auxiliary communication system is acting up again," he said. "We've tried everything. If it goes down, we could lose contact with the colony on Soria 5. Can you take a look?" Lyra tilted her head slightly. "Show me the problem," she said simply. Dalton led her to a control room filled with blinking consoles and tangled wires. The communication system was critical. It linked the station to distant colonies, relaying messages, data, and supplies. For months, humans had struggled to keep it running smoothly. Lyra approached the main console, her eyes scanning rapidly. She placed her hands on the interface, and it was as if the system recognized her touch. She moved her fingers in small, precise motions, adjusting energy flows, recalibrating signal processors, and reconnecting circuits that humans had considered broken beyond repair. Minutes passed. The system hummed, lights blinked, and suddenly the communication link stabilized. Not only that, but the signal strength increased far beyond its previous limits. Dalton and the other engineers stared in disbelief. "How?" Dalton began, but no words came out. Lyra turned to him, calm as ever. The system required a different approach. Basic repairs were insufficient. "Efficiency is now optimized." Other engineers crowded around. One whispered, "I've never seen anyone fix it."